Class 11th, Subject Physics, second chapter, Mathematical Methods. From this chapter, already we have studied that the scalars can be added or subtracted by using laws of algebra, but for addition or subtraction of the vectors, we can't use the laws of algebra, and therefore for the addition and subtraction of the vectors we have to use the graphical methods. And therefore let us see the addition of the vectors by using triangle law, that is triangle law for addition of vectors. Now let us see first the statement of this triangle law, and then we will explain. If two vectors describing the same physical quantity are represented in magnitude and direction by two sides of a triangle taken in order, then their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle drawn in the opposite sense, that is, from the starting point of the first vector to the end point of the second vector. The statement for this triangle law is, if two vectors describing the same physical quantity are represented in magnitude and direction by two sides of a triangle taken in order, then the resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle drawn in the opposite sense, that is, from the starting point of the first vector to the end point of the second vector. So, in order to explain this law mathematically, let us consider two vectors. So, PQ represents vector A and RS represents vector B. Now, these two vectors are describing the same physical quantity, and now we will have to add them with the help of this triangle law. And therefore, just now we have seen the statement, and in that statement these two vectors are taken in order. Now what is actually the taken in order condition? So if you consider this vector A, for this is the starting point, this is the end point. For vector B, it is the starting point and it is the end point. If the second vector is drawn from the end point of the first vector, that is, the end point of the first vector and the starting point of the second vector are at the same place, then we can say that these two vectors are taken in order. That is, vector A is drawn like this up to Q, and then from Q, that is RS, so that these two vectors are taken in order. Similarly, if you consider these two vectors, vector C and vector A, they are not taken in order because it is the starting point of these two vectors. Similarly, if you consider these two vectors, vector B and vector C, again the end point of the two vectors are here. So first vector is drawn from R, second vector is not drawn from S, but it is again meeting at S, and therefore these two vectors are not also taken in order. So from this triangle only vector A and vector B are taken in order, so that the second vector must be drawn from the end point of the first vector. Then and then we can say that the two vectors are taken in order. Now when such vectors which are describing the same physical quantity and they are represented in magnitude and direction by two sides of a triangle taken in order, then the resultant is represented by the third, that is remaining side of the triangle, which is drawn in opposite sense. That is, sense is here like this, from P to Q, Q to S like this, but this vector is drawn from P to S, not from S to P, and therefore sense is opposite here, direction is opposite, and therefore this vector C will represent resultant of vector A and vector B so that it is drawn from the starting point of the first vector to the end point of the second vector. And so if we apply this law, then the addition of vector A and vector B will be equal to vector C, that is vector C will be equal to vector A plus vector B. That will be the addition for this triangle law. Now if you consider some of the properties, then the vector addition is commutative. The vector addition is commutative, that is the first property A. Vector addition is commutative. Now what is that commutative? If you consider two vectors P and Q, if P is written first, Q is written second, and if there is addition vector P plus vector Q, then that addition is equal to vector Q plus vector P. That means due to the interchange of the positions of the vectors, the addition will be the same again, and this is the commutative property, and so vector addition is commutative. Now second is B, that is the vector addition is associative. So in order to explain this property, let us consider three vectors A, B and C. First of all, vector A and vector B are added, and in that addition vector C is added. Now this will be similar if vector A is added to the sum of the two vectors B and C. So this will represent the associative property, that is vector addition is associative. So vector A plus vector B plus vector C will be equal to vector A plus vector B plus vector C. Now these two properties will be explained as, instead of these vectors, if you consider here 7 plus 5, then it will be 12. So that will be equal to 5 plus 7, that is 12. So 7 plus 5 will be equal to 5 plus 7. So this will be the commutative property. Similarly, in the second case, if you consider 2 plus 3 plus 4, 2 plus 3 plus 4, so 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, we will get 9. So similarly here 2 plus 3 plus 4, 3 plus 4, that is 7, 7 plus 2 equal to 9, and so that it will be the associative property. So vector addition will obey the commutative property as well as associative property. Now let us consider the second law for the addition of the vectors, and that is law of parallelogram of vectors. Law of parallelogram of vectors. Again let us see its statement and then we will explain it. If two vectors of the same type, originating from the same point are represented in magnitude and direction by two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the resultant is given in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram starting from the same point. Statement will be again repeated. If two vectors of the same type originating from the same point are represented in magnitude and direction by two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the resultant is given in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram starting from the same point. That is, in this diagram, this OA will represent vector P, OB will represent vector Q. These two sides are considered as two vectors, and these are two adjacent sides of that parallelogram which are inclined by angle theta. So theta is the angle between vector P and vector Q. Now we will have to add these two vectors by using law of parallelogram, and therefore if you consider vector P and vector Q, then what will be their resultant, that is vector R is equal to vector P plus vector Q, what will be its magnitude as well as direction, that we will have to find. So let OA is equal to vector P, OB is equal to vector Q. By considering these two vectors, let us complete the parallelogram, and therefore we will get OACB as the parallelogram. Then draw its diagonal, which is originated from the common point between these two vectors P and Q. It will be having this parallelogram will be having two diagonal, but don't draw this. The diagonal will be drawn from the common point between the two vectors. Then let us extend this OA up to D, that is AD, and then draw perpendicular from point C to D, that is perpendicular CD. Therefore, as angle between vector P and Q equal to theta, therefore as it is a parallelogram, therefore this side will be parallel to P, this side will be parallel to Q, and therefore this angle will be again theta. And therefore from this figure now we will have to find out the magnitude as well as direction of the resultant, that is R, vector R. And therefore first of all let us consider the magnitude of R. So first point is magnitude of R, that is magnitude of resultant R. That means when vector P and Q are added by using law of parallelogram, then what will be the magnitude of R and its direction. And therefore let us consider triangle ODC. So from this triangle ODC, it is right angle triangle, and therefore we can use here Pythagoras theorem to it. Therefore we will get OC square equal to OD square plus DC square, and therefore from that triangle we can write OC square equal to OD square plus DC square. But if you consider this OD, this side will be the sum of two segments OA and AD, and therefore we can write here OC square equal to OA plus AD square plus DC square. Now by applying the rule of A plus B square, that is equal to A square plus 2AB plus B square, we can expand this bracket, and therefore we can write OA square plus 2OAAD plus AD square plus DC square as equation number 1. Now again consider the triangle ADC. Now from this triangle ADC, again it is right angle triangle. Again use Pythagoras theorem to it, and therefore we will get AC square equal to AD square plus DC square. And therefore here we have written from this triangle AD square plus DC square equal to AC square. Now in that relation there is AD square plus DC square. So last these two terms will be replaced by AC square, and therefore putting this value of AD square plus DC square equal to AC square in equation 1, we will get OC square equal to OA square plus 2OAAD plus AC square as equation number 2. Now let us find the values of some of the terms here. Similarly here, if you consider the geometry of that figure, then first is OA. So OA is equal to vector P. OA is equal to vector P. OC. So OC will be vector R. OC is vector R. And now we have got OA equal to P, OC equal to R, and now from triangle ADC, let us consider triangle ADC, right angle triangle. From that triangle we can write cos theta equal to, cos theta will be equal to cos of this angle, cos theta will be equal to AD upon AC. So cos theta is equal to AD upon AC, and therefore AD will be equal to AC cos theta. AD will be equal to AC cos theta. But what is that? AC cos theta. AD is equal to AC cos theta. But what is that AC? So AC will be nothing but Q, and therefore only in magnitude. And therefore AD is equal to AC cos theta will become Q cos theta. So we have got the value of this AD again, that is Q cos theta. And now putting these values in equation 2. So putting all these values, that is OA, AD, AC, OC in above equation, we will get, so putting in 2, we will get R square, that is OC is equal to R, therefore OC square is equal to R square, equal to, it is P square, P is nothing but OA, so OA square means P square, plus 2, OA means again P, and AD value of AD is Q cos theta, so into Q cos theta, plus it is Q square, it is nothing but Q square, so that is value of AC, value of AC is nothing but Q, and therefore we will get Q square. Now rearranging the terms, we can write P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta, that is the value of R square. Taking square root on both sides, we will get R is equal to root of P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta, equation number 3. This equation represents the magnitude of the resultant vector R, that is when vector P and vector Q are added by using the law of parallelogram, then the resultant R will be having its magnitude equal to square root of P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta as equation number 3. And now let us see the direction of this vector R, that is resultant R, direction of resultant R. What will be the direction? So if you consider here the geometry of this figure, then alpha is the angle made by the resultant with vector P, that is OA, and beta is the angle made by this resultant with this vector Q, that is OB. So in order to find the direction of this OC, we will consider both these angles, that is we will have to find out what is the value of alpha and what is the value of beta. So alpha, that value will give us the direction of this resultant with respect to vector P, and beta will represent direction of the resultant with respect to vector Q. And therefore in order to find that magnitude, now we have written R is equal to root of P square plus Q square plus 2 PQ cos theta. Now how to find the direction? So for that direction, again let us consider the triangle ODC. So from triangle ODC, from this right angle triangle, we can write tan alpha equal to DC upon OD. So tan alpha equal to DC upon this OD, but again OD is OA plus AD, and therefore this will be written as DC upon OA plus AD. So as we have to find out the direction, therefore we have considered tangent of that angle alpha. Similarly, from triangle ADC, from this triangle ADC, again it is right angle triangle, and therefore from this triangle, what is sin theta and cos theta? So sin theta will be equal to DC upon AC. So this sine of this angle theta will be equal to DC upon this AC, and therefore we can write as sin theta is equal to DC upon AC, therefore DC will be equal to AC sin theta. So DC is equal to AC sin theta, but what is that AC? AC is equal to Q, and therefore DC will be equal to Q sin theta. As it is AC sin theta, AC is equal to Q, and therefore DC will be equal to Q sin theta. So we have got DC, and from this triangle again cos theta will be equal to AD upon AC. cos of this will be equal to AD upon AC, and therefore as cos theta is equal to AD upon AC, AD will be equal to AC cos theta. But again AC is Q, and therefore AD will be equal to Q cos theta. So from this relation, that is DC, we have got DC equal to Q sin theta. Then what is that? OA. OA is nothing but P. OA is nothing but P. And the second term, that is AD at the denominator, that AD will be equal to Q cos theta. Putting all these values, we will get tan alpha equal to Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta. Here it is Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta, and this will be written as alpha is equal to tan inverse of Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta, equation number 4. This equation gives the direction of the resultant vector R with respect to vector P, that is the angle alpha is the angle between this resultant R and this vector P. So this will be the direction of this resultant. Similarly, we can prove from the same diagram, that is tan beta. For this beta angle we can prove, because beta is also the angle between AC and vector Q, and therefore tan beta will be proved as P sin theta upon Q plus P cos theta. By performing the above procedure for beta, we will get tan beta equal to P sin theta upon Q plus P cos theta, and therefore beta will be equal to tan inverse of P sin theta upon Q plus P cos theta, equation number 5. So both these relations 4 and 5 will represent the direction of resultant, but it will be with respect to vector P and with respect to vector Q respectively.